is Mary.
And Emma.
Leave our chance to like,
Share,
subscribe down below, y'all. Today we are going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys. They just dropped a new episode. And I did not know that Marlo went to jail for stabbing a girl.
I had no idea.
I was very shocked. Now I'm like
she
on
to
edge.
herself. I don't need to do that one.
I mean, she stabbed her, but she did not die. She died years later in a car crash.
That's what she said.
But
in a car crash.
In a car crash. But I just wonder.
How was her life?
How was her life? Did she become an alcoholic because of, like...
What, was it a DUI when she...
I don't know, but I'm just assuming. Like, because...
Or maybe someone hit her.
Maybe it was a random hitting. Or maybe she was an alcoholic from all the things that Marlo did to her. And then she got into a car crash. We don't know. But you can't sit down here, Marlo, and talk about how, oh, your little stabbing was an isolated incident. And then you have the nerve to come and talk about Candy. Like,
you want to get your stuff expunged?
Candy helps the world. She should be helping me get my stuff expunged. You have been in jail. I can't even count how many mugshots you have. And you want her to come help you expunge your stuff? That's why when she was talking about Candy, I literally... let it go in one ear and out the other. Because as soon as she said that, it just kind of seemed kind of shady. Yeah. Because then she's talking about how, Candy should have thrown the man a funeral.
Yeah, well, she was saying that her family is still upset, has not gotten over the stuff with Candy. So I was thinking, and I was telling you, that I feel like maybe she felt, because the guy used to work for Candy at the time, was a former employee. Right? Her nephew was a former employee of Candy. He wasn't actively working there at the time that he was stabbed, right? By his roommate, not even at Candy's restaurant. I felt like maybe the family expected Candy, because, in the black community, sometimes you'll have, like, celebrities will, like, pay for the funeral or something like that, So I feel like maybe they were feeling like maybe Candy will make a memorial for him, or maybe pay for his funeral, because funerals are very expensive, or just something, just because he used to work for her. Now, you made a good point that, maybe if Candy wasn't who Candy is now, they will not care. And that's true. But they expect more, right? They just expect her to do a little more, or maybe gave the family some money towards the funeral expenses and stuff. But it's like expecting things, and I know sometimes people feel like, well, we expect more from our people because they are our people. But is that wrong though to expect?
I personally just felt like for me, I feel like if you are somebody who works at Golden Corral or McDonald's and you die, you're not going to go and call up the CEO of McDonald's and be like, listen, somebody died, they worked for you for 50 years, I think you should do something. Oh, no, you ain't going to do that. You actually aren't.
They don't work for you right now, but they worked for you. And of course you're not going to because they're not your people. So that's why I think like there's maybe it's like an expectation, and I don't think that that's wrong in our community, because a lot of times, we just may not have it like that. Like, it's just kind of like an empathy kind of thing. Like, okay, let me see. Well, what do you need? Maybe when Marlo told her in that text that she says Candy, maybe she expected Candy to be like, because I remember I think on the text it says, my nephew used to work for you. He's dead, like he was shot. And Candy was like, well, she said he used to work, right? He used to work for her. I feel like maybe she was expecting Candy at that point to say, or call her later, or say, hey, how can I reach your nephew's family, and what can I do?
My thing is, you're not going to sit down here and force me to come and do something for somebody. I hate when people go and they expect you to go and do stuff like for them. Like this was a former employee. Marlo is alleging that the person who shot her nephew was also a employee of Candy. My thing is, I actually don't even know if that's true because she be lying. But
Yeah.
because Marlo do be lying. But I feel like one, Candy, if I'm Candy, I'm not going to go and even try to bring attention to this. Because if this is actually a former employee who actually did, like my employee actually shot a former employee,
Yeah.
one, I'm not going to sit down here and bring that attention to my restaurant because
Right.
one, that's bad for business. Just like how Marlo's going around spreading all this stuff about, oh, Candy did this, you keep on having shootings, why is this happening? My thing is, this shooting did not happen at the restaurant with your nephew, it happened at his apartment.
Yeah,
And my
he no
thing is,
longer works
why
for Candy.
is it Candy's fault if another human being that she cannot control goes and shoots somebody? Like, that actually has nothing to do with Candy.
Right.
Like, as individuals, like, I can't control what you do. I can't go and say that, oh, hey, my mom, she's not going to go and run down the street and act crazy today. Like, I can't control what she do. So why is that on Candy's back to go and have to, like, host a memorial and all this stuff? Because one, that'll bring bad attention to a restaurant. And then two, Marlo, you're here spreading her name, and your record is not clean either. So I don't feel like you really ain't got no foot to stand on either.
Yeah.
And then you want to talk about how, oh, you had PTSD. You stabbed a whole person, and you talking about how, oh, my nephew was shot. Please, you have some weird tendencies. That's all I'm going to say. But I don't feel like
you had known that, and she said my nephew was she should yelling, and you stabbed that woman who died. She could have said that. But then,
Like,
what Marlo would have done.
Listen,
And the way that guy grabbed her in the back.
Try
Marlo,
to. My thing, I bet my bottom dollar that they actually have more security around when Marlo is around. I guarantee it, but she doesn't notice it. I guarantee, but I'm sure if she watches video, she's going to start peeping that out. But I feel like it's not Candy's place, whatsoever. And I feel like she should not be trying to force it on her. And, like, the family, how are you still upset with Candy? But I feel like if I was Candy, I would have at least given flowers, my condolences, or whatever stuff. Maybe I would have slid a check for maybe $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not going to do this whole big hoopla because my thing is this is also bad for my restaurant, and this also is how I make my money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you were expecting Candy to go and do something for your family now, she damn sure gonna do it after seeing this video and you spreading those lies about her.
Yeah.
So yeah. But let's go ahead and talk about Marlo and Kenya. It just seems like Marlo, there's something wrong with Marlo. Like, now that I know what she did, I'm like watching her with my two eyeballs and my other third eye. Like, I just can't.
I kind of
the way
feel
she was
like,
banging on that door, harassing her. Like, I mean, yes, the trip was low budget. But my thing is, this was an event she was doing. This is not like some trip where we go to the Maldives and we get an Airbnb. Like, what do you, like, maybe it could have been a better hotel. But, I mean, if you want a better hotel, why don't you take your cheap ass and go to a better hotel? You ain't gotta be underneath Kenya's dime if it's really that big a deal.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with the suites. Because Kenya's room seemed really nice. But I wonder how about the suites for Sheree? Sheree was supposed to have one
Kenya's
something.
suite was not nice. It was smaller than Sheree's.
Really?
I mean, it looked like it was a Comfort Inn. No shade to the Comfort Inn, but actually it is shade to Comfort Inn because they be having holes in their sheets.
It's not all the Comfort Inn.
It was Chantilly in Virginia.
It's not even all the Comfort Inn, but it was the one that's near Dallas Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really, in fact, I'm going to actually take my time to actually write that review, even though it's been a year ago.
Yeah.
Because that was deplorable.
That was
to have
disgusting.
These big fat holes like this in your sheets. And when I called them
they still brought
to come in, whatever, the Hispanic lady had a nasty attitude, which I'm kind of like, I'm black, you brown. I guess I expect.
I'm black, you brown.
You know what? But I don't expect that from her. I just don't. Just like if it was a black person, I don't expect you to be that nasty to me when I'm asking you to please get me some other sheets. Like, look at this sheet. It had these big holes. And she actually bought one that was worse. It was worse than that one. That what blew me. And after that, I was like, okay, no sleeping here before we have to leave. Yeah, but I'm definitely going to write a review for that. I am going to write a review for that. If I can get to America, when I get there, I'm going to pass there just to talk to them. How awful it was. And, that was the time I had my cane. So I guess maybe they felt like, older, disabled black woman, she don't need much. Let me find the worst raggedy room for her. Oh, okay, you go and be in 102. That was not the room number. But you all go stay there. You all don't look like you have much going on for you, which I think is really awful. Anyway, move
But
right
yeah.
along. I have PTSD from that. Let's just move right along.
I
It's not
feel
all
like-
the Comfort Inns. We stayed at the Comfort Inn at Waldorf for 40 days. We were homeless. It was wonderful. Never a hole in a sheet.
Yeah.
So,
But I feel like Kenya and Marlo, I felt like I mean obviously it started at the table, but I didn't think that it was kind of warranted.
yeah.
Like she would just say like don't talk over me, like I'm trying to talk and say my points or whatever. Like that was literally all
I just
she was
felt
trying
like
to
Kenya
say.
should not have brought it up.
So brought what up?
You're the host of the thing. You don't have to bring up the thing about Drew and Marlo. You were not there, and it's true.
I mean Kenya
If
is
she really
messy.
didn't talk over you, you weren't in the middle of talking.
She was in the middle
and
of talking.
Anywho, Kenya sometimes she could get she's very quick to say, "Don't talk over me." She's very quick to say that. It gets my last damn nerve. But the other thing too,
I
Kenya,
thought the whole thing was petty. I think she just wanted to talk about. I think she just wanted to talk about the whole thing with Drew, and she should have just maybe just asked Marlo. So what happened with Drew? And if she declined, well, you can say, well, I talked to Drew. I mean, because I feel like they have to kind of do all these odd things, because they have to like create content or whatever stuff. So sometimes things that we see is odd. They're just trying to keep the show viable. That's what I think.
But she can do it. Kenya could have done it one-on-one because they were all having a good time.
Well, it's not a one-on-one
They just got
conversation.
out
I
the
want to
bus.
gossip with all the other girls about you and why you were there being aggressive to Drew. So let's talk about it at the table
Yeah, I guess
before
so.
my event.
But you know what was really interesting when she got up the door? What the fuck at my door?
My goodness, I'm
you're-
sorry.
and my child is here, and you're making the loudest noise.
I'm sorry. I probably would have reacted the same exact way.
I will not react to the
I'm
same
sorry
way.
because my thing
With
is
my
it's
child in the room.
no, because
I
my
said, you guys, my child is in the room. Please don't mind on the door.
I'm sorry. The reason why I'm saying this is
But she's
because I
acting
would
like
have
that
acted
because she was already ashamed
no.
that her thing was low budget. They had to leave.
I'm sure, but my thing is also if I am in the peace, in the quiety, and if I am in the peace, and when I'm in my peace, my quiet, and I'm in my sanctuary, and all of a sudden I hear some raggedy individual kick my door, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then y'all continue to bang on the door, I'm pissed as hell, and somebody getting cussed out, cause like my thing is like it jolts me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, you
That
can't
is
knock
lack
on
of
the...
security 101. You can't look through the people to see who's there. I'm going to
No,
come
but
open
I'm
door.
upset already because I'm literally in my peace. I hear a bang, a bang, a bang. And then you want me to sit down and be quiet. My child's in the room. You don't respect me and you don't respect my boundaries because you sat down here, you banged on the door like some uncivilized person. You could have just been like, hey girl, let's talk to you. We want to talk to you or whatever. Or you should have called. But you go and you kick the door. Like really? Even if the room was low budget or whatever, you ain't got no right to be treating me like I'm some savage
She
up in
didn't
these
want
streets.
no one to call her out on her.
I'm sorry. I listen. Kenya was completely justified in my opinion. I would have reacted the same way because you're not going to jolt me and disturb my peace. Like you ain't finna interrupt my peace. Like that ain't okay with me. And you just want to jolt me like that. She wasn't. The woman wasn't naked. She was literally naked. She came out like this. And you're banging on my door, and I come to, and it's not like it's the police or anything, but it's these raggedy women who are coming and are banging on my door. I'm pissed as hell, and you getting cussed out. Yes, you will. And I'm going to call you the next day and tell you, get the hell out of the room that I paid for. I don't care if it costs $20.
Well,
get out and take yourself back to Atlanta. How about that?
Well, I think that's what it looked like she was trying to do.
Raggedy, raggedy.
Yeah, I think she was getting some accountability for some things, and it was kind of rude.
But my thing is, she wouldn't have known that
there.
that whole event, that whole charity event, wasn't like high class or whatever. Because I mean, how was she supposed to know what? Was she the event planner and all that stuff?
I think as though Kenya is in the middle of a divorce.
I mean, she's not in the best place.
I don't know if this is the time. This man does not want to remove his claws from your money. I don't know if this is the time for you to be planning things because you may not have the funds to really plan it the way you want to.
I feel like she should have just gone by herself.
The group of women are not going to be grateful for you to have something that's not, up to par. This is what you do with friends, like friends. And Sheree also is probably the best place with Kenya right now, even though she thinks she is, but she's not. Sheree's still a little annoyed, a little salty from the whole Martell thing. So
That's true. But I think she was just trying to make it up to Sheree. That's why she gave her the bigger room. That's what I think.
the suite, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be very interesting. That's why the next day now, I mean, we wish.
Oh,
we
and she
hope
called the
she's
cops
well.
on Marlo.
Yeah.
Now I do think that was a bit much. She didn't have to
But
hold cops on
she's
her.
a convict.
My thing is, I don't give a damn you a convict. You a
I know.
convict, so you should act
Marlo,
accordingly.
exactly.
You should act accordingly. You should act like you have a checkered past. Do
Marlo,
not do anything for me to call cops on you, because I will happily be that carrot.
And Kenya has been known to do that before. So
I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, Marlo, that's your fault. And, like, I mean, really, like, you have some violent tendencies. And I'm seeing you now for who you are.
Yeah, yeah, anyway. But yeah, she, next time.
My nephew was dead! Like, all in her face. Like, the guy was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, next time we see that.
Marlo should have never said that, because now I'm really looking at her. I'm sorry. I am. But to stab somebody,
I know.
to go in,
I'm just wondering
somebody,
where she's stabbed. I keep on wondering where those stabs
and she does it.
Is it by her neck? Is it on her face? Is it like, where is it?
And my thing is, if she was like a very calm individual, like, who can I say is calm on the show? Like, maybe like a Drew, then maybe I can say she has changed. But she has anger issues, and that's still very clear. And then you add her checkered past onto that, it's not looking good for Marlo Hampton.
Well, it's going to be interesting next time, because Kenya is seen being taken by the ambulance. She doesn't seem to be well, so I hope she's actually okay.
You didn't think you thought that OC was fake.
I feel like she's feeling bad about and then her extra drama.
Or maybe they canceled the event and she decided to go to the hospital, be like, oh my god.
Yeah. You'll find your way home.
And then Marlo's praying for her. The woman who called the cops and you're praying for her. Okay, with your fake. Ooh.
Oh, child.
Ugh, man. But it's Mary.
And
I invite y'all to like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment down
below.